So now let's get into chapter 14, section 2. In this one, we're going to discuss the rise of the Tang and the Song dynasty. We're going to analyze the advances in China and examine Chinese inventions. Chinese civilization has been based on agriculture, as all early civilizations was. It had a lot of focus on agriculture. There was a lot of new techniques to agriculture during the Song dynasty. One of these was the dragon backbone pump, which allowed one person to do the work of several. And this just kind of shows you what it looks like. Um, it's basically a pump that allows people to do the work that many people was doing. Under the Song, the amount of land that they had available for cultivation increased. Chinese farmers also learned to grow new crops such as cotton, so they're expanding their horizons during this time. Surplus in agriculture helped pay taxes to the government. So a lot of times people would pay their taxes in additional food and things like that. Throughout the Tang and Song dynasties, much of the food that was grown in China's farms flowed into the cities and the towns. Now, the largest of the cities of the Tang dynasty was Chang'an. Chang'an was a mix of multiple cultures. And there's a video on Google Classroom where you can go and watch. It's a 3D representation of what they believe that Chang'an looked like. And then here is a kind of a overview map that kind of shows you what it looks like there with the different monasteries, churches, walled quarters, the Eastern Market, the administrative city, things like that. Trade grew along with Chinese cities. The Grand Canal, which I mentioned in section 1 and connected northern and southern China, was a major hub for trade. It was improved and expanded on during the Tang dynasty, so it allowed them to expand on what was already there. The silk trade in China became the biggest trade secret of China they have protected with their life. And of course, this goes into the Silk Road that we're going to continue to mention until the end of the school year, because the Silk Road has become a very influential part of trade, not just in China, but all the way to the Mediterranean, all throughout Europe, on into Africa. The silk trade becomes a huge deal. Porcelain is a thin, beautiful type of pottery, and the economy during this period became so good that the Song dynasty created the first paper money. It's the first time people had paper money. Usually they'd use coins or they would barter or something else. And this is a picture of porcelain pottery. Now, just a few of the artistic people. First one is Wu Daozi, which is a famous Chinese painter. The second was Li Qingzhao, which was China's greatest female poet. And then celadon is a pale green glaze used in art. And a few examples. This is a painting by Wu Daozi. It's a Taoist deity of the earth. This is from Li Xingzhao, and it says, "Lonely in my secluded chamber, 1,000 sorrows fill every inch of my sensitive being. Regretting that spring has so soon passed, that raindrops have hastened their falling flowers, I lean over the balustrade, weary and depressed. Where is my beloved? Only the fading grassland stretches endlessly towards the horizon. Anxiously, I watch the road for your return." And so this is a love poem by Ling Jingkao. And I think I've said it different every time I've said it. I don't know exactly how to say it. That's all. I pronounce it the best way I can. But that is a poem that goes back to this time. Woodblock printing, and there's a very good video about woodblock printing that shows someone actually going through the process, shows how long it takes to do this, but it's a form of printing in which an entire page is carved into blocks of wood. The world's first known printed book was made in China in 1868, and the Diamond Sutra is that book and is about the beliefs of Buddhism. It's the first known printed book in history, and this is from the Diamond Sutra. It's about the beliefs of Buddhism. Gunpowder is a mixture of powders used in guns and explosives. It was actually discovered by accident, and the Chinese used it to create fireworks. They were making fireworks. They realized this, and this is where gunpowder is going to come from. The compass is also an invention from during this time, and it uses the Earth's magnetic field to show direction. This is a Chinese compass. It does look nothing like our compasses today. But it just kind of shows you how it looks. And that brings us to the end of section 2.